Welcome back to World of Warships Legends with Redsorax, and today I have my Roma review and gameplay of it. So go ahead and take a look at the ship. I actually think it's a nice looking ship here. I like the way it looks, just in general, the camo. Even that red and white striping gives it some texture up front, but the way the whole ship looks good to me. As you can see, I'm running double flags across the board and triple flag for extra range at the end. So let's take a quick overlook view of the ship as it stands before you do anything to it. So we've got 381mm 3x3 turrets on this, so that's 15-inch guns for we Americans. She's got 12 single gun turrets of 90mm, 6 down a side, and then 4 triple gun turreted 152mm guns, 2 down each side, with a firing range of 5 kilometers. As you can see, the consumable loadouts are damage control party, repair party, and either a spotter or catapult fighter. Let's take a look at the commander now. We're using the new Italian commander, Paulo di Ravel. I have him level 12 with 1 legendary rank, and his base trait is time is of the essence, bumping up the reload of the main battleship guns, which I happen to like. And I believe when you get it maxed out, it's going to make it all the way up to 6% for reload on all battleships. That seems pretty strong. For his first skill, I went with Brawler, the standard that you see on most battleship captains. For his second skill, I went with Crisscross, as it stands to get the guns twisting a lot faster. For the third skill, I went with On Second Thought. That's to me a better choice, and I should have used it in this game I'm going to show you, but it is what it is. And in his fourth slot, I went with Master Mechanic. And to get it leveled all the way up, I'll get an extra heal out of it on top of the one I already have. And in the legendary slot, I went with Will to Rebuild. And I'm standard battleship captain build for me. First inspiration I went with was Charles Madden. To get a faster reload, stack on top of what we already have. Plus we can get the traverse down on these battleship guns. And in our last inspiration, we have Andrew Cunningham. Give us a much better dispersion of our main battleship guns. First mod I went with is Aiming Systems Mod 1. I didn't want main battery Mod 2. I don't want to mess with the reload. Second mod I went with is Damage Control Systems Mod 2. Help alleviate some of that burning and flooding when it happens. Our third mod is the only mod you can select for a battleship at this tier, and it's Target Acquisition Mod 1. And our final mod is Main Battery Mod 3, which does help with the reload, but also messes with our traverse. But with all our inspirations and our skills, we should counter most of that. This gives us a health pool of 65,400. The armor ranges from 13mm at its weakest to 380mm at its strongest, and torpedo reduction of 38%. Now to take a quick and closer look at the armor layout. As you can see, the Citadel is at just above the waterline, so be a little careful with the sides, but she is well armored. She has a lot of armor in those areas. So you can see my guns have a firing range of 15.6 kilometers with a 22-second reload. So you can get 2 salvos out of a spotting plane. And she turns her guns 180 degrees in 28.2 seconds. When it comes to maneuverability, she does 30.9 knots with a turning circle radius of 810 meters. And of course, my favorite part, concealment on a battleship, which nobody really cares about, but 14.5 kilometers. So let's go ahead and take it into battle. So today we've got Tears of the Desert, Domination. I like this map. I happen to be in a division today, and I'm playing with two gentlemen from the German area, Steinbecken HD, and I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that, and Jimmy. So we're closer to C. We're going to push C. We've got one destroyer. They have one destroyer. As you saw on the map, we are top of the leaderboard, or top tier, and we're discussing what we're going to do. So we're going to take the C cap, obviously. It's just a smart play for us to do. And I'm going to follow my destroyer, take another look to see what destroyer we're countering against, which is a German destroyer. The cruiser is going to go up here and start angling towards this island off to my port side or left side. I'm going to give the base cap a wide circle as our destroyer starts heading straight into it, just till I can spot something. Now, as you can look at the ship straight on from the side, she really is pretty. I like how the ship looks. And giving to Wargaming, they model the ships beautifully in this game. Of course, they model everything in all their games pretty well, except for World of Warplanes, from what I've heard. Shout out, Jingles. So, when it comes to the ship, and all of the Italian ships, they have high velocity guns. If you notice, when I do fire these guns, they're going to have a very flat arc to them. So they are, in my opinion, best within 12 kilometers. But if you get too close and you catch a flat broadside cruiser, which you'll see in this game, and I've done it in the cruisers as well, you punch right through them, inside one side and out the other. Now the cruiser commander, one of the cruiser commanders has a skill that allows the shells to detonate 90% faster. Battleship captain doesn't have that, and he has something else that actually makes it detonate slower. So I'm not exactly sure why that perk is. Maybe I read it wrong, but I don't think I did the way it looks. It looks like it, adds more time on the shell detonation. But when you get up to things like Odins and heavy armor battleships, you are going to be able to get inside their armor. Now, you may not hit their citadel, may detonate before their citadel, but you will be able to punch through more armor with these shells because of the high velocity of the shells. Now, as you can see, we're taking the sea base. Now, my cruiser commander has said he has been located. That's why I'm looking over this way. So, obviously, the destroyer is closer to him. So, our destroyer captain is heading over, as you can see him, he's heading over towards the B cap to counter him. I'm starting to swerve because I'm not going to shoot the big fat battleship in a straight line with your torpedoes. So now we're up here, now we're detected, and that has to be coming through the gap because I'm not spotted by anything that I can see on radar. So I'm still trying to get up here with the rest of the crew. And I go off of detection, so I know he's between that gap. Now, I warned my teammate, and right here I should have reloaded HE, but I had the AP loaded, and I'd forgotten that I had the on second thought on there. And when you see the salvo I do give this destroyer here in a second, it would have been much better with HE. Now they counter spot each other, and unfortunately there's nothing I can do. The Lightning and the Z-23 are fighting it out. And we lose my teammate. I can't get around the corner fast enough. Get shots out. He gets gunned down. And you can see 3 overpins. Now, if those would have been HE shells, I would have done much better. Now that he's all up inside a smoke screen, I am not going to stay here and pin the torpedo on the big fat battleship. So I'm going to make a tactical retreat here. And of course I get an Odin firing HE at me. I'll let that burn. And you can see the arc of those shells was pretty flat. I didn't have a good angle at it. I fired them really quickly. We're going to get moving back out the C cap towards our partners. You can see them there on the mini map. And at the same time, we're going to start heading to B. We need to stay in cover. I don't need to be torpedoed. And as you can see, I'm just letting this fire burn away. I can heal this back. Odins don't have high shell velocity guns. They don't have big guns. So a lot of them fire HE. And now he's firing AP at me. Now I'm going to get these shots out. And this isn't a cricket score game I'm racking up here. This is just I think my third game in it. I had a higher level, higher damage game, but it was a loss, and I hate showing losses. And it was a loss because they outcapped us, not because they outplayed us. Well, I mean, that is a form of outplaying you. All right, now you'll see I'm going to fire on a flat broadside shores. Just one turret, 3 guns, and solid overpin. Shot right through them. And at range, too. That's how high velocity these shells are. Now, I was considering, because he was turning angled out, that with the angling, I'd be able to punch in and get a much better penetration shot. But I went ahead for the Odin. Not the greatest choice. Not a bad choice, but not a great choice. But see, I'm still trying to book out of here because I am not certain where that destroyer's at. My partner's moving up into the crack to find the destroyer, and then he wants to go ahead and mess with the Odin. And I get shots out at the Odin. 1 pin, 1 overpin. Get a nice trajectory. Odin does decent damage to me. Not a citadel, just solid penetrations. But I've already burned 1 damage control. Here we go. I'm going to burn another one. And that's why I go with the Master Mechanic. Now, my partner, as you can see in the cruiser there, he was going to torpedo the Odin. And he didn't realize, yep, there's the destroyer's torpedoes. And he turned just in time to get the torpedoes caught to him by the Z-23. And he catches one, and then the Odin messes him up. I'm lining up on the Odin here. Shots out at a flat broadside. Now, I did get the torpedoes into the Odin, but the Odin's going to get him back. I get 2 pins, 2 overpins. Again, flat trajectory. At flat trajectory, you're not going to do too much citadeling to German battleships because of the turtleback armor. It's got to plunge in, but I am going to get these penetrating shots. Nice grouping there. And we get 2 pins, 3 overpins. We secure the kill. Now this side of the map is secured. I still don't know where that destroyer is at, but he's not spotting me, so that's important. So looking at the mini-map, you can see that everything is all grouped up together. Both my team and their team. The last spot of the destroyer, oh, there he is on the mini-map. So I'm going to go ahead and just start charging up towards B-cap. And it's going to be a minute here before I get into range of anything. We're not looking at the greatest ranges with this ship, but solid when you get into that sweet zone of the 12 kilometers. Between 8 and 12 kilometers, you really get some good angles with this thing, with the guns being at the flat trajectory that they get with the high velocity. And you'll see that here in just a second. So I'm looking at the back of this ship. I love the design of the ship. So I call out the shores here. He's the kind of the second most dangerous with those torpedoes. See the Baltimore, I'm not as worried about. Yeah, the Baltimore has great AP. There goes the shores. So I go ahead and thank the ship for taking out the shores. Now look at that beautiful broadsiding synop, 14.5 kilometers. We're going to close some range before we get around this mountain here. There goes the Scharnhorst for their team. We've owned 2 caps, really doing pretty well on the points. Now somebody does some damage to the synop there. And I've got my guns trained. We're in that sweet zone I was telling you about, 12 kilometers, 12.5. He's got some angle. Now look at that shell grouping right there.
Gotcha, bitch.
Oh, it's in my contract. That had to hurt. Now he got a pin into me, not a citadel. Again, the armor layout on this ship is set up in a way that's very tanky, and it does a decent job of protecting. Now we get shots back out on that synop. They're dropping in, and we get the kill. Now we have an Iowa, and this guy, I couldn't help it when I was playing this game. This guy was making me crack up. He's driving his Iowa backwards. Now, he's got good angle here, and he's the best target I have. And I don't know where that destroyer is at the moment. He's off to the side. And call out the Baltimore. He's low health. Scharnhorst is firing at me. But again, Scharnhorst doesn't have really big enough guns to hurt me that badly. And we're in the B cap. I'm going to get these guns. There goes the Baltimore. Get these guns lined up. Look at this Iowa. How can that not make you laugh? He's driving in reverse. You'd think he was driving a Jean Bart or a Richie Lou. He should be up here punching my ticket all day long. So, I'm lining these shots up here. Gonna go ahead and get him ready for the Scharnhorst when he comes around the corner. Somebody did a little damage to the Scharnhorst. There's the Richie Lou. I was thinking about getting shots, but he's at extreme range. And the Scharnhorst is now, you know, a piece of health. Get this in there, bam, killed secure. You know, 1 pin, 1 over pin, but it doesn't rack up. Once you destroy a ship, it doesn't count any more pins. Had I had 5 more pins, it wouldn't have counted because once the ship's dead, it doesn't count as hits or anything like that. So go ahead and put some shots in this Iowa. I'm aiming a little high here, and the shots hit 2 pins. You'd think they'd have done better damage pinning from that range. Now, I didn't put the 1 fire out, but with the Richie Lou, he just set me on fire again. So 2 fires, we're going to put it out. Get a little angle in here, and there goes the Z-23. We're going to call them out, let these guys take them out. Get 5 penetrating shots on a bow tanking Iowa going for the superstructure. Not a lot of damage. I believe he has a lot of damage saturation, so I can't take a lot of health off of him in the superstructure. Now he's firing back at me, bow on, and I fired at him. I get 1 over pin. He gets a pin, and probably on my superstructure. We finally get the Z-23 down, which is good. Now I don't have to worry about sneaky ass destroyers firing torpedoes at me. And now, again, this guy is driving in reverse. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But it's angled. He's actually angled enough that I ricochet 3 shots. And I play hell trying to catch this guy. And I bounce most of his shots. He gets an overpin somewhere. I'm not angled enough here. He takes out one of my guns. And I get 3 shatters. 4 shatters and an overpin. I've got 1 gun down. I'm not going to repair it. It's not worth repairing. As long as he doesn't hit me in it again, it won't be destroyed permanently. Angle in. And this guy, I swear to God, I don't know. But it's working because he's well angled. I missed that shot, just completely flubbed it. We're under a minute now. And I'm just chasing this Iowa, just trying to get it. We have enough points here that there's just no way unless something really tragic happens And he doesn't even focus me. And I'm trying to get the gun. That's why I'm giving him a lot of broadside here. I get one pin, one over pin, a second over pin. He's just not worth it now. Richie Lou on a lot of health here. 24 seconds left in the game. Got a lot of broadside here to the Richie Lou, but he's not aiming at me. His guns are turned at the other battleship over there. He's going to get that kill for certain. I get 2 overpins on the Richie Lou. And yes, they take down our Bismarck with it. He's been firing HE. Apparently he set the Bismarck on fire and he burned him down. And we got time up right there, and I get the Dreadnought. So that's my overview of the ship. Like I said, it's a decent brawler. So in my opinion, is it worth going through the campaign for? I believe it is, better than the Odin. So we got 97,000 damage. Nothing super great, just solid teamwork. Dreadnought. Made a base of 1906. And got to give it to our Atlanta. He outplayed me. I've got 3 kills. And we made a profit with double flags of 183,000. So I hope you enjoyed this. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.